I extend a warm welcome to all our colleagues from Press and Electronic Media for this press conference on long-range forecast for rainfall and temperature for the month of November. If you just look at October has been a quite eventful month this year. As all of us know, October is the month when southwest monsoon withdraws and northeast monsoon sets in. Let us look at what happened to the southwest monsoon. The southwest monsoon this year withdrew from the entire country on 19th of October against normal date of about 15th October. So you can say that it was not near normal, but however, it is 4 days delayed withdrawal. So if you look at the period of withdrawal usually starts from 17th September from the southwest Rajasthan. For this year, withdrawal started on 25th September. That means the commencement of withdrawal was delayed by about 8 days, but final withdrawal from the country was near normal. It was delayed by 4 days. The duration of the monsoon withdrawal from the country this year was about 25 days against normal of about 28 days. So with the onset of monsoon over Kerala on 8th June, if you remember, the withdrawal from the country commenced on 19th October. So total duration of monsoon, if you just look at this year, was 134 days against normal of 137 days. So therefore, as a whole, if you just look at the characteristics of initial commencement of monsoon and initial withdrawal of monsoon and final coverage of monsoon and final withdrawal of monsoon, it was just near about normal. It was not so much different from the normal behavior. Now, with this withdrawal of southwest monsoon on 19th and 21st October, northeast monsoon commenced over the country. As all of us know that northeast monsoon prevails over the southeast peninsula, like South Andhra Pradesh, South Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Puducherry. And it started on 21st against normal of 20th October. And the commencement of the northeast monsoon occurred in association with the genesis phase of the cyclonic storm, which crossed later Bangladesh coast near Chittagong. You can just see on the left-hand side diagram on 21st midnight, it became a depression. And prior to that, on 28th, it was a low pressure area. And on 19th, it was a cyclonic circulation. So therefore, this cyclonic circulation which occurred over southwest Bay of Bengal helped in increasing the easterly winds and hence the onset of northeast monsoon rains. In addition to this low pressure system, there was another cyclonic circulation over Comorin area. So these two cyclonic circulation and low pressure area helped in development or strengthening of northeast monsoon and hence the onset. But however, it was a weak onset as the low pressure system gradually intensified and moved northeastwards and hit Bangladesh coast. Therefore, all the moistures were dragged towards that, and hence southeast peninsula was deprived of sufficient moisture. Also, the wind pattern changed after that as the cyclone moved towards northeast. And during this period, when the cyclone was over the Bay of Bengal, after the onset phase, northeast monsoon remained weak. Now let us look at what happens to northeast monsoon onset, that is commencement of rain over Tamil Nadu and adjoining areas. This is the data from 1980 to 2022. If you just look at, there is an increasing trend that suggests that there is a tendency of delay in commencement of northeast monsoon rains over Tamil Nadu and Puducherry in recent years. So just for example, last year it was 29th of October when northeast monsoon set in over Tamil Nadu and adjoining areas. So if I just keep it in mind that October monsoon is getting delayed, that means I can expect that the southeast peninsula should get less rain in the month of October, unless otherwise there are some low pressure systems is affecting southeast peninsula. Now let us look at what happened to the rainfall during October 2023. If you just look at in the initial phase, in the top left diagram, it shows the daily rainfall activity over the country as a whole. You can find that the initial phase up to 5th October, it was normal, above normal rainfall activity. It was mainly because of a low pressure system which developed over North Bay of Bengal, moved across Ganges to West Bengal and joining Odisha, then Jharkhand, and Chhattisgarh, and then it recurved and moved towards Bihar, and finally it went up to Bangladesh. And under its influence, there was very good rainfall activity over the northeast, east and northeast India. Especially if you remember, the South Bengal, West Bengal, and Sikkim got heavy to very heavy rainfall, and there was GLOF, that is glacial lake outburst during that period. That is 5th September, if you remember. If you just look at the diagram on the right hand side, this is the rainfall in the month of October. You will find that the rainfall, what happened during that period, that dominated the spatial distribution of rainfall in the month. You can find that there's good rainfall activity over east and northeast India. But in addition to that, there are some western disturbance which passed over northwest India, and hence northwest India and east and northeast India adjacent to Himalayas got very good rainfall activity. So apart from that, we could not get good rainfall activity over central India and northern peninsula, or entire peninsula, you can say, except Kerala, Lakshadweep, and Andaman Nicobar Islands, where it was normal rainfall. So after that, around 17 October, you can see that there is another peak around 17 October. The 17 October, what happened? There was, if you remember, there was some system and developing that low pressure, I was telling, cyclone circulations, etc., which became later on the cyclone over this region. At the same time, also there was another cyclone developing over the Arabian Sea. Initial phase also it caused good rainfall activity over Lakshadweep and Kerala. So it was a combined effect. Around 17th October, you got above normal rainfall activity. But after that, I will show you later on how both the cyclones moved away from Indian coast, and hence there was no rainfall activity. Now, considering country as a whole, you will find that as a result, October has been a deficient month, and deficiency was 32.6%. And northwest India, it was above normal, that is 44%. East and northeast India was above normal, you can say under normal, 9% above normal. And central India was 60% deficient, and south peninsula was also about 60% deficient. Now let us look at the area weighted rainfall over the southeast peninsula, the area which gets maximum rainfall due to the northeast monsoon. If you just look at the left hand side diagram, which shows the data from 1901 onwards till 2023, you will find that there is some kind of very less rainfall activity this year. The black line, what you find here in this diagram, is the trend line. So what it shows that there is no such trend in the annual rainfall activity over the southeast peninsula. So even though you find that this year has been rainfall activity, but it is not that there is a decreasing trend. There is no trend. It is a trendless. Just like southeast monsoon, northeast monsoon is also trendless. It does not show any positive or negative trend. So if I look at this year's rainfall compared to previous years, I find that this was the 6th lowest. It is not the lowest. It is the 6th lowest since 1901. The lowest rainfall for southeast peninsula that covers coastal Andhra Pradesh, Rayalaseema, Tamil Nadu, Puducherry, South India, Karnataka, and Kerala was in 2016. And this year, it is the 6th, therefore, in the order. The previous orders are 2016, then 1988, 1980, 1927, 1965, 2023. So if I consider for recent years, after 2016, this year, the rainfall has been quite less. Now, if I look at the different composites, for example, as all of us know that this year it is an El Nino year, and this year it is a positive IOD year. So curiosity is there in the mind that what happens during El Nino year, the impact of El Nino on this year's rainfall activity, why it was deficient. If we remember simply, when we say El Nino causes in general good rainfall activity over southeast India. But this year you could not get good rainfall, it was deficient rainfall. Let us see therefore what is the rainfall anomaly in the composite El Nino years. We have considered all the El Nino years since 1950s, and if I compare it, and there's light blue colors are indicate that it's above normal, and orange and reddish colors indicate that this is below normal rainfall in case of El Nino years. So what it shows that in case of El Nino years, you will get good rainfall activity over say Karnataka, Rayalaseema, southern part of Telangana, many parts of Tamil Nadu and Kerala and coastal Andhra Pradesh. Now let us look at a rainfall composite for positive IOD years, which is the case this year. In the positive IOD years also you will see that similar is the case, but the excess rainfall zone shifts towards the north. It is North Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Marathwada, and northern parts of Madhya Maharashtra and western part of Vidarbha, etc. And of course, along the west coast, where you get more rainfall activity in a positive IOD years. And of course, here you will find that positive years also get good rainfall activity on southern parts of Tamil Nadu and adjacent areas of North Kerala. Now, but if I take the combination of both, those years when it is an El Nino and positive IOD. So El Nino years for positive IOD years, if you just look at, it shows that in many areas of northwest India, like say Jammu and Kashmir, Rajasthan, northern parts of some parts of Haryana, there it is positive anomaly, that is positive departure. Similarly, here some parts, that is southern parts of Bihar, then Jharkhand, and some parts of Chhattisgarh, you have got the positive, and also here in Andhra Pradesh. But over Tamil Nadu, if you just look at, these are all some reddish color, or you can say orange or reddish colors. So it indicates that when you consider El Nino in a positive IOD years, there is the tendency that in the month of October, you get less rainfall over Tamil Nadu and adjoining areas. So I feel I put forth the point that in the El Nino and positive IOD combined years, composite years, Tamil Nadu does not get good rainfall activity. It is many parts you can see that deficient rainfall. Now, let us look at what happened to our forecast. So we have the forecast on the left hand side. This is the forecast. We have the forecast that there will be rainfall activity over Kerala. There will be excess rainfall activity, and adjoining South Peninsula also you will have good rainfall activity. Adjoining South India, Karnataka also will have good rainfall activity. But remaining parts of Tamil Nadu will be normal and deficient rainfall activity. We also predicted that over the eastern India, there will be deficient rainfall activity, but there was very good rainfall activity, as I told, because of that low pressure system. And some parts of northeast India, it was positive, and also it was predicted positive. The northwest India is, and the prediction is not so well, but some parts were predicted as positive, but it has gone out. And remaining parts, it has come well, as it shows the deficient rainfall. It is according to deficient rainfall. Now, let us look at the heavy rainfall, what happened actually. If you just look at this year, extremely heavy rainfall events have been quite less because northeast monsoon has been very insignificantly active, and therefore extreme heavy rainfall we could not get so much. Only one station in Kerala one day reported extreme heavy rainfall, but we got extreme heavy rainfall in Meghalaya. You got extreme heavy rainfall in West Bengal in that association with the low pressure system. So, so heavy rainfall activity has been relatively less this year, as the total deficient rainfall was high. Now let us look at what happened to the wind pattern actually. If I look at the composite circulation pattern of October, here the C stands for circulation, that is cyclonic circulation. So you see, just imagine here, the Jammu and Kashmir and adjoining areas, there is a cyclonic circulation here. And over the Bihar and extending up to, say, North Bay of Bengal, there is a trough. And whenever you have a cyclonic circulation in a trough, that gives good rainfall activity. So composite pattern of the wind circulation in the month of October suggested that northern parts will have good rainfall activity, especially eastern and northeastern India and Jammu and Kashmir and adjoining northwest India. But at the same time, in the month of October, as we are expecting the activity of northeast monsoon, there should be some cyclonic circulation, but instead of cyclonic circulation, we got anti-cyclonic circulation. You can see this blue line is the reach, and A stands for anti-cyclonic circulation. Anti-cyclonic circulation leads to dry weather or fair weather. It does not give much rainfall activity. The South Peninsula was associated with anti-cyclonic circulation, leading to weaker northeast monsoon leading to less rainfall activity. Whereas northern parts of the country has the cyclonic circulations and the trough and low pressure systems, and as a result, we've got good rainfall activity. Now, if we go to specific, how many systems are there? There are 4 low pressure systems with 21 days of occurrence in the month of October. That means it was dominated by the low pressure systems, but still India did not get rain because they were not favorable for India. So, except for northern parts of the country, especially eastern India, which got good rainfall activity because of the one low pressure system. So, there are 2 twins in the month of October. The first twin was one depression, 1 to 3 October over East Central Arabian Sea of South Konkan Goa coast, which crossed South Konkan between Panjim and Ratnagiri on night of 30th September and 1st October. And there was a well-marked low pressure area over Jharkhand and neighborhood and against West Bengal 1 to 5 October. That ferocious system which I am talking about, it caused havoc in Sikkim in the form of the contribution, because what happened in Sikkim, it is a combined impact of many factors. It is a blow off, and then there was the rainfall activity, there was melting, so many things are there. There's movement of the glacier, so many things. And then its remnant moved towards southern West Bengal, causing heavy rainfall activity. The second twin was the cyclone Tej and cyclone Hamoon. Tej developed over the Arabian Sea, and Hamoon developed over the Bay of Bengal. So apart from these low pressure systems, there was the western disturbance, and there were 7 western disturbances. But all these 7, except one western disturbance, that is 15 to 17 October, it caused rainfall and snowfall over North India. Otherwise, all other western disturbances are quite feeble. They caused some rainfall activity over the western Himalayan region. Otherwise, northern plains could not get any rainfall. The last time the Delhi reported rainfall was on 17th October. After that, there is no rainfall activity over Delhi or plains of the country in northern India. So this was, therefore, I would say, western disturbance was not so much active, except the one that is 15 to 17 October. Now let us look at a little more about West Bengal and Sikkim, what happened on 3rd to 5th October. If you remember, the major rainfall activity occurred on 4th October, that is Padang reported 19 centimeters, Kalimpong reported 13 centimeters, and Majita reported 13 centimeters, Darjeeling 12 centimeters, Pekyang 12 centimeters, like that. So therefore, there was a very heavy rainfall activity over the region. Then next day on 5th October also, there was rainfall activity extending up to 12 centimeters. But after that, also rainfall activity continued over Sikkim every day. So it created a lot of problems for evacuation of the people. We continue to provide daily location-specific rainfall forecast for next 5 to 7 days. It helped the disaster managers in Sikkim, both NDRF, SDRF, and many others, to evacuate the people gradually. But one of the surprising thing was that with this well-marked low pressure system, Medinipur district, Barisa reported 52 centimeters on 4th October, as the well-marked low pressure area was over Ganjati, West Bengal, and Jharkhand. It was in Jharkhand, so moisture was taking place over the Ganjati, West Bengal. So Medinipur district got, you can say, some parts inundated because of the extremely or exceptionally heavy rainfall activity, 52 centimeters. Now let us look at these 2 cyclones. Left-hand side is the Tej cyclone, which developed over the southeast Arabian Sea and gradually moved, and it crossed the Yemen coast. And while crossing the coast, it weakened. It crossed as a marginal, very severe cyclone storm with wind speed of about 125 to 135 kilometers per hour. You can say it was just like a cyclone Biparjoy, intensity or slightly less than that. I would say it is less than that, slightly less than that. And then and Bay of Bengal, simultaneously on 21st, on 20th, development occurred for the cyclone Tej. On 21st, development occurred for cyclone Hamoon. As if Hamoon was just following the Tej by 1 day. And the landfall also occurred by that day, while on 23rd midnight, landfall occurred for Tej. On 24th midnight, landfall occurred for Hamoon. You can say midnight or the early morning of 25th. So, however, it did not affect much Indian landmass except Mizoram. Mizoram got rainfall activity, some strong gusty and squally winds. Otherwise, there is not much impact over the Indian landmass. If you look at this type of rare phenomena, when twin cyclones have developed in the past, you will find that last such activity occurred in 2019 when cyclone Kyar, Maha, and Bulbul occurred in the Bay of Bengal Arabian Sea. And then you have got 2018 when Luban and Titli developed. Luban was in Arabian Sea, Titli was over the Bay of Bengal. In 2019, Kyar and Maha was over the Arabian Sea, Bulbul was in the Bay of Bengal. And then in 1977, there was a super cyclonic storm which crossed Andhra Pradesh and another crossed Tamil Nadu coast. If we just look at the last diagram in the bottom, there were two cyclones simultaneously. And it was also a very characteristic cyclone. It was a looping cyclone over the Arabian Sea. And both cyclones crossed Indian coast, unlike this year, when both the cyclones went away from Indian coast. Okay, so if I look at the salient features, you will find that both the cyclones had the rapid intensification. Rapid intensification means if the wind speed increases by about 60 kilometers per hour in 24 hours, then it is called as rapid intensification. And it was about 100 kilometers per hour wind speed increase in case of cyclone Tej in 24 hours. And in case of in case of Hamon, the wind speed increased in 24 hours by about 65 kilometers per hour. So both the cases were rapidly intensifying cyclones. These are challenging cyclones worldwide for rapid intensification. And recently, the cyclone which crossed, if you remember, USA, that was also a rapidly intensifying cyclone. And Tej also developed like that. I'm not going to discuss. Both were recurving cyclones. Both cyclones recurved, while Bay of Bengal cyclone recurved northeastwards and Arabian cyclone recurved northwestwards initially and then westwards. Then faster speed. Both the cyclones moved very fast before the landfall. 24 hours before landfall, both the cyclones moved faster and crossed the coast. So minimum death toll. If you just look at so far, I do not know how far is the data reliable. We have not received the information from Yemen. So therefore, I will not tell you to report it, zero death, but so far we have not seen any report, but we have not received official report from Yemen. Therefore, I will not say what is the total number of deaths due to Yemen. But however, Yemen caused heavy rainfall and flooding in that cyclone Tej called heavy rainfall and flooding in Yemen. That report has been seen in the media. Cyclone Hamon caused 3 deaths in Bangladesh. That is the reported deaths that were done. So with this, if you ask me what happens during El Nino years, as I told last time also, we do not get, Indian coast does not get many intense cyclones that we have not received so far also, the intense cyclones here in the month of October. And whatever cyclones passes, you will see that southern part of India, like Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, South Andhra Pradesh gets more cyclones. So the tendency towards northern parts is very less. But at the same time, this year it went towards north, but towards Bangladesh coast. There is one case earlier, which is towards Bangladesh coast, is a depression only that we can. No intense system has crossed during El Nino years over Odisha, West Bengal, Bangladesh, or Myanmar. This is the study finding. No cyclone has crossed Odisha, West Bengal, Bangladesh, and Myanmar during the El Nino years. Now, if you look at the Arabian Sea, you will find that most of the cyclones move towards Yemen or adjoining Oman. Only 2 cyclones have moved towards northeast. One is crossing Gujarat, other one has not crossed. That means over Arabian Sea also, in the El Nino years, there is tendency that whatever cyclones develop, that goes towards Yemen. And they are very close to Socotra Island. And otherwise, one cyclone is going to Oman, that is South Oman only. And Indian coast sometimes can get, that is Gujarat coast, that is one only out of all the cyclones. Now, looking at the performance of this cyclone to intense cyclones, yes, it is worth mentioning that because that we have predicted very well, we have provided all guidance to Yemen, Oman, and Bangladesh and Myanmar for these cyclones also, like previous cyclones. We provided extended forecast 20 days, 2 weeks before we predicted that some kind of development is going to take place both over Bay of Bengal and over the Arabian Sea. And 1 week before we increased our probability, making it red. Then also there we gave some guidance. Well, the Arabian Sea system, we just look at, we gave indication that is moving towards Oman and Yemen. In the Bay of Bengal system, we gave indication that it's moving towards Bangladesh and adjoining Myanmar. We never indicated that it will moving towards the Orissa coast or towards any east coast of India. And then, of course, this is real-time forecast. Every 3-hour forecast are issued, and black line indicates the actual track, and red line indicates the forecast track. Now, this is the error calculation. How much is the error? 36 hours before, we could predict well almost zero error in landfall point in 36 hours in advance. So this is the case for, I'll just pass through it. This is the case for cyclone Hamoon. Here also, 36 hours before, if we just look at, error was quite less, but beyond 36 hours, error was quite high. Now let us look at what happened as rainfall was quite less over northeast monsoon region. What happened to the temperature? So temperature this year, if you just look at it, was higher. And if I look at the trend line 1901 to 2023, you will find that in recent times temperature has been higher. But if you look at the trend also climate change aspects, yes, maximum rise in temperature is in the winter season, that is January, February, followed by the post-monsoon season, October, November, December. So therefore, this data agrees with the previous statement. And this year also, the temperature has been higher, both maximum temperature and the minimum temperature. But if I look at the rank, I'll say the maximum temperature is the third in the series. You can say actual temperature 32.13 and normally 0.96, so it is third in the series. And minimum temperature is 10th in the series, and mean temperature is 5th in the series. That is 5th highest. Now let us look at the spatial distribution of the temperature. If I look at the spatial distribution of temperature, you will find that this is the anomaly, that is deviation from the normal. In most parts of the country, it was higher than normal. Minimum temperature also, most parts of the country was higher than normal. As a result, mean temperature was also higher than normal. Now let us look at the forecast. We get the forecast for maximum temperature to become higher than normal in many parts of the country, except some parts of Jammu and Kashmir and adjoining areas. And you see, this is the actual left-hand side. It has been above normal for many parts of the country, except those areas where rainfall has been a little higher. That is our northwest India and some parts of eastern India and northeastern states. So therefore, temperature could be predicted very well, except 10 to 20% of the area. Now let us look at the minimum temperature. Yes, we have also predicted that it will be above normal for most parts of the country, except some parts of northeastern states. You can see here, and some isolated pockets here and there. That has also happened this year. If you just look at actual temperature on the left-hand side, it almost tallies with what has happened this year. Now let us look at the large-scale flow pattern. This is the El Nino conditions. You can find out this is the equatorial Pacific. Entire East equatorial Pacific and Central equatorial Pacific is warmer. And Nino 3.4 is plus 1.6 degrees Celsius in the last week. And if you look at the average, certainly it is moderate to strong El Nino conditions. If I look at the forecast of El Nino, you will find that most models are indicating that El Nino conditions, which is prevailing as a moderate to strong, it will continue. It will continue, and positive IOD conditions are likely to weaken. IOD conditions likely to weaken. You can see that just from December, January, February, if you just look at it, showing normal IOD dominating. But El Nino conditions are likely to continue till you can say spring or early part of the summer season. But somebody may be little curious to know what will happen during next monsoon season. It is too early. I will not say about that. But since I am showing the diagram, you can see here that if you look at May, June, July, there you find that neutral conditions are dominating. And there is a tendency of decreasing El Nino conditions from March, April, May to April, May, June, then May, June, July. So therefore, if you have just a guess, you can say that El Nino condition is not expected to continue for the next monsoon season. Neutral condition may evolve. That is the current practice, the current forecast, but however, it is too early because any forecast beyond 6 months on the El Nino or La Nina conditions has its limitations. Now, this is the probabilistic forecast rainfall for November 2023. So, as you see from the diagram, you will find that, yes, again, monthly rainfall for November over South Peninsular India, which is very important consisting of the 5 meteorological subdivisions like Tamil Nadu, Puducherry, Karaikal, Coastal Andhra Pradesh, Yanam, Rayalaseema, Kerala, and South India Karnataka, likely to be normal. But here normal is quite large. I want to mention it because rainfall is less. That normal is ranging from 77% to 123%. That means it is plus minus 23 because variability is quite high in the month of November. So therefore, you have 77% to 123% of the long period average defined as the normal value. So what is that normal value? If you consider the data of 1971 to 2020, the normal value is 118.69 mm or 118.7 mm for the South Peninsular India. That is these 5 meteorological subdivisions. Now, if we consider the country as a whole, it is also likely to be normal. That is 77 to 23% and 77 to 123% of the long period average. It is mainly because you can see that there are blue colors over the parts of Northwest India, Eastern India, East Central India, and also Northeast India, apart from the Peninsular India, especially Karnataka, Kerala, South Tamil Nadu, where you have got blue or green colors. Blue or green colors indicates excess and normal rainfall activity. The long period average rainfall for the country as a whole is 29.7 millimeter based on data of 1971 to 2020. Here also, variability is quite high. Therefore, you have the range of 77% to 123%. So, forecast says that Northwest India, Eastern India, Northeastern India, many parts, and the extreme southern peninsula like Kerala, South Tamil Nadu, South Karnataka will have normal to above normal rainfall activity. Remaining parts can have the below normal rainfall activity. So therefore, considering the country as a whole, the area which usually gets more rainfall, it is showing blue color and the green color. That means Northwest India, which usually gets more rainfall because of the coastal disturbances. Central India does not get much rain, and Southern Peninsula, which gets good rainfall because Northeast monsoon, it is showing the higher rainfall activity. Therefore, country as a whole is expected to be the normal rainfall activity. Now let us look at the maximum temperature and minimum temperature. Maximum temperature, if you just look at it, is showing above average, there is above normal temperature in many parts of the country, except Northwest India and West Central India, where some areas you will have normal rainfall, normal temperature activity. Otherwise, most parts it is showing the maximum temperature, or the day temperature will be the above normal. There is a probability that it will be above normal. Minimum temperature, similarly, if you just look at most parts, it is showing that it will be above normal. So I will summarize now that monthly rainfall for November 2023 over South Peninsular India, consisting of 5 meteorological subdivisions like Tamil Nadu, Puducherry, Coastal Andhra Pradesh, Rayalaseema, Kerala, South India Karnataka, is most likely to be normal. That is 77% to 123% of long period average. And monthly rainfall for the country as a whole is about is expected to be also normal. That is again 77% to 123% of the long period average. And above normal rainfall activity is likely over southernmost parts of peninsula, most parts of Northwest India, many parts of East Central, East and Northeast India. Below normal rainfall activity over Central India, Northern Peninsula, etc. Now, above normal maximum temperature are likely over most parts of the country, except some parts of Northwest and West Central India, where it is likely to be normal. So, if I look at minimum temperature, above normal minimum temperatures are likely over most parts of the country. El Niño conditions are prevailing, and they will continue to prevail till the beginning of summer next year. But tendency shows that it will have the decreasing intensity gradually, and based on initial prediction of now, there is no likelihood of El Niño continuing in the monsoon season. Evolving condition is that neutral conditions you can expect. IOD conditions are rapidly weakening. So positive IOD conditions are rapidly weakening. It will be by December, January, it is expected to be the neutral IOD conditions. मैं अभी आप सभी को थोड़ा हिंदी में बोलूंगा। नवंबर 2023 के दौरान दक्षिण प्रायद्वीपीय भारत में 5 मौसम संबंधी उपखंडों में औसत वर्षा सामान्य यानी एलपीए का 77% टू 123% होने की संभावना है। 1971 टू 2020 के आंकड़ों के आधार पर नवंबर माह के दौरान दक्षिण प्रायद्वीपीय भारत में 5 मौसम संबंधी उपखंड में वर्षा का एलपीए का लगभग 118.7 मिलीमीटर है। नवंबर 2023 के दौरान पूरे देश में औसत वर्षा सामान्य यानी एलपीए का 77% से 123% होने का संभावना है। 1971 से 2020 के आंकड़ों के आधार पर नवंबर माह के दौरान देश भर के वर्षा का एलपीए का लगभग एलपीए होता है 29.7 मिलीमीटर। और स्पेशल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन देखें तो प्राय भारत के दक्षिण भाग के कुछ क्षेत्र में अधिकांश हिस्सों में, उत्तर भारत यानी उत्तर पश्चिम भारत, पूर्व मध्य भारत और पूर्वोत्तर भारत के कोई हिस्से में सामान्य से अधिक वर्षा होने की संभावना है। देश के शेष हिस्सों में सामान्य से कम वर्षा होने की संभावना दिखाई देता है। तापमान की बात करें, अधिकतम तापमान की बात करें, उत्तर भारत और मध्य भारत के कुछ हिस्सों को छोड़कर जहां सामान्य अधिकतम तापमान होने की संभावना है, देश के अधिकांश हिस्सों में अधिकतम तापमान सामान्य से ऊपर रहने की संभावना है। न्यूनतम तापमान पूर्वानुमान यह है कि देश के अधिकांश हिस्सों में न्यूनतम तापमान सामान्य से अधिक रहने का संभावना है। और अभी हम एक्सटेंडेड रेंज फोरकास्ट की बात करें तो आप देखेंगे कि जो वीक कंडीशन चल रहा था नॉर्थ ईस्ट मानसून का साइक्लोन की वजह से, अभी नॉर्थ ईस्ट मानसून अच्छे फेज में है एंड नेक्स्ट 1 वीक नॉर्थ ईस्ट मानसून अच्छे फेज में रहेगा और साउथ ईस्ट पेनिनसुला में अच्छे बारिश होगा। तमिलनाडु, केरला, दार्जिलिंग, आंध्र प्रदेश, साउथ कर्नाटक, रायलसीमा वगैरह एरिया में अच्छा बारिश होगा नेक्स्ट 1 वीक। और हिमालयन रीजन के ऊपर एक वेस्टर्न डिस्टर्बेंस अभी मूव कर रहा है, जिसकी वजह से रेनफॉल, स्नोफॉल एक्सपेक्ट किया जाता है जम्मू कश्मीर, हिमाचल प्रदेश वगैरह एरिया में। मिनिमम टेम्परेचर एनोमली की बात करें तो जैसे आप देख पाएंगे कि नॉर्दर्न पार्ट्स ऑफ द कंट्री में मिनिमम टेम्परेचर एबो नॉर्मल रहने का संभावना है, यानी नाइट वार्मर रहने का संभावना है। इसके साथ साथ नॉर्दर्न पेनिनसुला में भी वार्मर रह सकता है, मगर रिमेनिंग पार्ट्स में ये बिलो नॉर्मल रेनफॉल, बिलो नॉर्मल टेम्परेचर यानी नाइट टेम्परेचर बिलो नॉर्मल रहने का संभावना है। और कंट्री एज ए होल आप देखेंगे, ये पिक्चर को देखते हुए मैं बोलूंगा कि अगले हफ्ते में टेम्परेचर एबो नॉर्मल हो सकता है, स्पेशली नॉर्दर्न पार्ट्स ऑफ द कंट्री। साइक्लोजेनेसिस की बात करें कि अभी कोई साइक्लोजेनेसिस होने का उम्मीद नहीं है फॉर नेक्स्ट 2 वीक्स। और हमारा पूर्वानुमान यही है कि जो नॉर्थ ईस्ट मानसून है, नॉर्थ ईस्ट मानसून अगले हफ्ते के लिए एक्टिव रहेगा, अच्छा बारिश करेगा और मगर कोई साइक्लोजेनेसिस यानी फॉर्मेशन ऑफ डिप्रेशन या साइक्लोन्स होने का संभावना नहीं है। अगले 5 दिन की वार्निंग की बात करें, जो जैसे मैं पहले बोल रहा था कि नॉर्थ ईस्ट मानसून अभी अच्छे फेज में है, इसलिए साउथ ईस्ट पेनिनसुला में अच्छा बारिश होगा, मेनी प्लेसेस टू मोस्ट प्लेसेस में बारिश हो सकता है। केरला, कर्नाटक, साउथ कर्नाटक, आंध्र प्रदेश और तमिलनाडु, पुडुचेरी इलाके में। इसके साथ साथ हम चेतावनी भी जारी किए हैं और चेतावनी यही है कि अंडर दिस इन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ स्ट्रॉन्ग ईस्टर्ली और नॉर्थ ईस्टर्ली विंड्स और यू कैन से एक्टिव नॉर्थ ईस्ट मानसून कंडीशंस, isolated heavy rainfall likely over Tamil Nadu and Kerala, and fresh spell of light to moderate rainfall again will start from 3rd, it will continue up to 5th, and therefore we can expect good rainfall activity over the southeast peninsula next 5 days. In addition to that, जैसे मैं बता रहा था कि एक वेस्टर्न डिस्टर्बेंस अभी उत्तर पश्चिम भारत के ऊपर मूव कर रहे हैं और 1 तारीख को 2 तारीख को जम्मू एंड कश्मीर, हिमाचल प्रदेश इलाका में आप रेनफॉल या स्नोफॉल एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं। थैंक यू, धन्यवाद।
मैं अनिरुद्ध हूँ
जी, अभी हम क्वेश्चन की तरफ चले।
जी सर, सर अनिरुद्ध बोल रहा हूँ।
बोलिए अनिरुद्ध जी।
सर आवाज आ पा रही है क्या?
बोलिए।
जी जी सर, आपने नवंबर के बारे में जैसा बताया, ऐसा लग रहा है कि सामान्य से ज़्यादा तापमान रहेगा पूरे लगभग कंट्री में। क्या हम अभी कुछ आगे के महीनों के बारे में भी कुछ समझ सकते हैं क्या? दिसंबर, जनवरी, मैं सर्दी के सीजन की बात कर रहा हूँ।
एक्चुअली दिसंबर, जनवरी, फरवरी जो विंटर सीजन होता है, इसका हम पूर्वानुमान नवंबर एंड में देते हैं और हम नवंबर एंड में जारी करेंगे। अभी जो पूर्वानुमान है कि पूरी कंट्री नहीं, नॉर्दर्न पार्ट्स ऑफ द कंट्री, स्पेशली नॉर्थ वेस्ट इंडिया